Now I request Dr. Kalyan Srinivas Garu for a prayer song.
Respected degrees, good morning. Om Sri Mahaganadapataya Namaha. Mahaganapatim manasa smarami, Mahaganapatim manasa smarami, Vasishtavama Devadivantita Mahaganapatim Mahadevasutam Mahadevasutam Guruguhanutam Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Mahakavya Natakadipriyam Mahakavya Natakadipriyam Mushika Vahana Motaka Priyam Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahaganapatim. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the prayer song. Now, I request Dean Student Progression Y. Padmasani Madam to address the gathering.
Padmasani madam, am I audible?
Okay, I forgot. I didn't.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you check your mic, madam.
Yeah. Good morning to all of you, respected dignitaries. I welcome all of you on behalf of VNR Vigyan Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology for 5-day online FDP on challenges in adopting machine learning towards 5G, 6G communications, sponsored by AICT New Delhi under Atal Academy. Respected dignitaries, Chief Guest, Director Faculty Development Program AICTE New Delhi, Colonel B. Venkat Garu, Head Innovation and Automation Tech BU at TCS, Mr. Krishna Garu, Treasurer IEEE Hyderabad Section, Chair CSI Hyderabad, Chief Products Officer ITech CTO Engineering Team at TCS, Dr. Balaprasad Garu, Vice President IETE New Delhi, Distinguished Fellow of IETE, First Chair of IETE Bangalore Center, Dr. M.H. Kori Garu, Joint Secretary Vigyan Jyoti, Mr. Kode Durga Prasad Garu, Director Advancement and Dean Finance, Dr. B. Channakeswarao Garu, and Coordinator of this program, Dr. Y. Chalpatrao Garu, and all other my colleagues and participants. A warm welcome to all of you for the inaugural ceremony of FDP program. So before start of inaugural, I want to, participants are across from India. I want to tell brief about the Department of ECE. ECE department is established in the year 1995 with the intake of 60. At present, we are having 240 students, and we also have 3 MTech programs. One MTech in VLSI system design, and the embedded systems. Recently, with the support of AICT, we have started defense technology in communication systems and sensors. Department has accredited 4 times continuously, and 58 highly qualified faculty with 15 doctorates and 40 plus participants are pursuing PhD from various institutions from NIT, JNTU, Osmania and IITs. And we have 15 academic and 4 research labs in the department, well-equipped classrooms and library, department library also we have. Innovative teaching methodologies, we practice some of those things are POGIL, wit and will. Dedicated training and placement cell with an impeccable track record of achieving good placement every year. Strong research culture. Department research center is recognized by JNH Hyderabad twice. Received research grant of worth crores from various funding agencies like AICT, DITI, BIRAC, BIC, DST, 800 plus research publications. Proudly say that 2 patents granted, and we have filed 9 patents, including 1 US and 1 Canada. And we are also, actually it is not excellence, we are working on that. We are having centers for IoT, signal processing and VLSI. And we also wants to add communications in that. VNR VJIT encourages entrepreneurship development cell to promote entrepreneurs in India. We started in our department, we have 3 startups. I am also one of the director for one startup. One student is started his own startup. And one we have provided space for Bangalore company. We are having MOU with industries as well as universities. Industry sponsored internship opportunities, value added courses, seminars, workshops, expert talks for students as well as faculty to update their skills as per the needs of the present day. Excellent academic track record. These are some of the statistics of our placements for past 5 years. With the support of all the members, not only faculty members, with support from all the industry and professional chapters. And we are having various industries. Because of that one, actually we are able to place our students in very good companies. Almost all the students, all eligible students were able to place in the companies. So already I have listed here the placement thing. Okay, so all our main recruiters, we have Amazon, Synopsys, AMD, Deloitte, Infosys, TCS. So like that, not only for software jobs, all our students, whoever is joining for either TCS or any other company, I proudly say that they are working in core area only. They are not working for software domain. So all of you are aware in the industry 4.0 age that we are in, technical education is transforming considerably. The clear demarcations in engineering education are now no more distinctive. We are now moving to an integrative education paradigm. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, Internet of Things, telematics, autonomous vehicles, data analytics, and the combination of 2 or more these technologies sometimes are of prime importance today. Technical education must adapt itself to prepare our young learners and practitioners for tomorrow. And such preparedness requires cross-disciplinary teaching and learning. Today's graduates are also expected to possess communication skills, interpersonal skills, including the ability to work in multidisciplinary teams, while also keeping up with the constant advances of technology. Technical education is the most vital parameter for a human resource development system with a great potential for addition of values to products and services, thus facilitating improvement in national economy and enhancement in quality of life of the people. Education is only one of the most impactable domains globally and is also one where continuous evaluation is routinely done. Even though this is the pandemic has affected everybody everywhere in the world across every gender, status, origin and race, some harder than other, but we are able to learn many digital technologies during this pandemic. We are having opportunity to listen from eminent speaker across the globe. I thank AICTE for organizing Atal FDPs during this pandemic. Many of us have learned lot of technologies. Okay, during first pandemic, I am having opportunity to attend Atal FDP organized by MNAT. So I find gap. What are the things that are required to learn either machine learning or AI? Already we have learned all these things in our curriculum, but as we are not teaching all those subjects, there is a gap in learning. So because of that one, we have requested our college faculty members from Maths department, including CSE department. We are continuously organizing the courses on data structures. Actually, for learning AI, data structures fundamentals are once again it is required for each of us. Okay, I request all the teachers who are attending any courses in advanced technology, I request all of you please refresh your communication skills in mathematics as well as data structures. These two things are very, very important to master in all advanced courses like ML, AI and deep learning also. Now, even though now they have coined CS, they are telling AI, machine learning, all those things, I can proudly say that all circuit branches, we are having signal processing in our curriculum itself. Now, whatever algorithms, some of the algorithms, what we are teaching for our children, starting from second year onwards, we are having signals and systems, signal processing, ADSP, and VLSI signal processing. When I attended AI course, all those algorithms indirectly we are teaching to our children, but we are not aware that is AI. When I attended AI, I came to know that that is part of AI. Okay, please, I request all the participants, make use of this opportunity, try to attend all the programs as for your interest. Okay, please adjust your duty. Even I can understand you are having other duties in your college. When you are attending any program, try to plan, try to attend all the sessions so that we can become master of that whatever program we are attending. So I don't want to waste others' time. So I welcome all of you for this program for 5-day FDP on challenges in adopting machine learning towards 5G and 6G communications. I especially thank AICTE for giving us opportunity to organize this event at VNR Vigyan Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad. I thank all the guests. I also thank all the participants. Without your support, this event won't be successful. I thank one and all. Welcome to all of you for this event.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for the brief introduction about the workshop and the insights of the workshop. Now I request the guest of honor, Colonel B. Venkat. He is currently working holding position and Director, Faculty Development Cell, AICTE, New Delhi. I welcome you, sir.
Ramya madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, it's not there.
Join. Not yet joined, I think.
Joined actually.
Joined.
Joined.
Venkat garu. Colonel Venkat garu.
Ramya, you can go. I will call sir in between.
Sure,
Go for
ma'am.
agenda.
Yeah, thank you.
Ramya madam. Yeah, you can.
Sir, yes, sir. So now I take a great joy to invite such an accomplished personality, the guest of honor, Dr. M.H. Kohli. Dr. M.H. Kohli is one of the leading wireless and mobile telecommunications and RF experts. He has more than 40 years experience in telecom, RF, microelectronics, and IT. His research, industry, and academic experiences include work at Alcatel-Lucent Technologies as a technical director, head of wireless division, C-Dot, VP Geosoft Technologies, head telecom, DSQ Software, IIT Bombay, University of Duisburg, Germany, advisor, Wireless Technologies USA, consultant, Telecom Standards Development Society India, technology advisor, Sage USA. He was also head of Lucent Technologies Bell Laboratories Hyderabad R&D unit for 5 years, and his professional contributions include extensive research work in wireless and mobile communications, head of architecture team in Lucent Technologies working on many technologies leading to 5G, digital microwave development of C-Dot, visiting fellow at University of Duisburg, Germany, designed MMIC chips manufactured at Daimler-Benz MMIC Foundry, Germany, member of several advisory and standards communities, study group NWG 9 of ITUR, guided students for MS, PhD at IISc, BITS and other institutes, member of advisory committee, academic council for many institutes and universities. Dr. Kohli is one of the vice presidents of IETET, past PPC chair, past chair IETE Bangalore Center, immediate past chair of International Microelectronics and Packaging Society, India, past vice chair of IEEE MTT and ED Society, past EC member IET, and he is the recipient of RVCE World Telecom Day Award and IETE Bandra Memorial Award. Dr. Kohli is a distinguished fellow of IETE. His area of interest include wireless communications beyond 5G, IoT, RF, and MMIC microelectronics. Dr. Kohli holds a PhD from IIT Bombay. I heartily welcome you to address the gathering, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. Understand Colonel Venkatesh will be joining probably. Dr. Krishna Devori, Mr. Balaprasad Padikeri, Dr. Durga Prasad, Dr. Chankesha Rao, Dr. Padma Sahi, Dr. Chalapati Rao, and all other distinguished members who have joined this inaugural program of this conference, faculty development program organized by VNR Vignan Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology. I'm very, very glad that such a program is being organized and I'm given an opportunity to participate in it. It's an excellent program that has been designed, and primary aim of all these faculty development programs, as was beautifully explained by Dr. Padma Sai, has two folds. One is, of course, dissemination of knowledge, understanding. It's just impossible, the rate at which, the pace at which the technology is galloping. It's impossible to keep track of what is happening. And also, if you want to specialize in certain areas, you concentrate on that area. There are so many other things happening in the other field. It's very difficult to keep track of those things continuously. The operating word is the continuous upgradation of our information about what is happening in the other fields. At one time, we didn't bother about what's happening in the other field, and so we continued with our specialization, and that was sufficient to a large extent. But in the present world, it's just impossible unless you keep track of what's happening in the other domains, not necessarily even in the electronics and communication, then computer science and allied areas. You have to keep track of all things which are happening in the other engineering disciplines and also non-engineering disciplines. So one has to keep track of it, though there is always a conflict between the depth of where you want to specialize and the width. So you have a broader scope and understanding of the things that is needed. So we need to compromise somewhere and get this, at least a cursory information about what's happening in the world in the area of technology and related to technology, because now we are merging social aspects into that, also environmental aspect also into it. So we need to keep together everything to give this broader glimpse of what is happening. These faculty development programs help in that. So this is a fantastic program that particularly the theme which has been chosen about the 5G and 6G, and how, as I was mentioning, this interdisciplinary aspect of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and then how this new communication technologies, the 5G and upcoming 6G, whenever it comes. So these, how they interact with each other, supporting one another. It's not that AI is helping 5G or 5G and 6G helping AI. It's interdependent for mutual benefit and benefit of the humankind. So that is one aspect of it, and a wonderful topic has been chosen. And the second aspect of it is that, which I just want to mention in most of the faculty development programs, is that one has to look at, this gives you a broader view, gives a glimpse, gives you an entrance, but subsequently one has to identify the niche areas, identify the areas in which has kindled your interest, and you want to continue, develop, identify, as beautifully explained, that you're starting so many incubation centers and center of excellences and different disciplines, what you want to develop. It would be a wonderful and very good point. Identify that I saw excellent program has been designed here. In this, identify some specific niche area you would like to continue, which will also have implications of other interdisciplinary areas even in your institute. Bring that and then continue with the specialization in those areas, bring some more experts in that domain, and then build, and then eventually you should become that quote and unquote center of excellence. Really, you are the people subsequently will be the center people would refer to, saying that this niche area, we have to go to VNR, Vignan Jyoti, IET for any references that we want to. Someone wants to start an industry, or some other institute wants to start some program on that, they should come to you. So that way, if it is developed subsequently, areas in which you identify a niche corner for yourself, and then develop a technology and do that. And this is a excellent starting point. There are several good activities which are going on. You have a good rapport with lots of industry, and that's another very, very important aspect of it, is that just learning the theory of certain things is not sufficient. We will have to interact with the industry, because eventually all your students, everyone will be going there to work on, so they need to know what is actually needed in the industry. Fundamentals are absolutely essential. I have a difference of opinion. Recently, ICT and other people have come about physics, mathematics, necessary, not necessary, but I don't want to get into that part of it. But fundamentals are absolutely necessary, and that building that necessary skills in the fundamentals, the foundation that you are doing already. Now you'll have to also bring in the aspects from the industry, what is needed, and you are doing an excellent job of that. So combination of these things will build a real good engineer. And also now we need, the institutions should be the place where you have to start the research part of it. In my subsequent talk, I'll be elaborating on that. So this is the point where most of the upcoming research areas, the initiation happens always at the academic institutions. Industry may not be at certain stage to put their resources to see some initial research concepts. They may not want to spend much time on that one because they have enough pressure already on it's every quarter they have to announce the result, and shareholder pressures and many other things will be there. So many of the industries may not have enough time. They want some such initial concept research has to be done from the academic institutions and then subsequently take it to the industry. So that kind of research activities also has to start. I am glad that Trevor Institute has already initiated. This is a very good starting point, these kinds of faculty programs. And then one has to keep in mind that when you do certain faculty development programs, it progresses from one point to another point to another point, such that it leads to your center of excellence developing and your faculty getting expertise in certain well-defined areas, and then it blossoms into a full-fledged program. And then of course you can go for many other granted projects, and then many other aspects of this one. I'm very, very glad. I see in the program that some of my good friends from industry, from Qualcomm, from HFCL, and various other industries, and also many other industries which are organizations giving hands-on programs. It's a very well designed program. I wish all the participants get best advantage of this one, and then continue the work that what you have learned, identify some niche areas and continue the work, and we are always available to help you in doing this one. I wish all the best for this program, and congratulations and thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for enlightening us with your words. We are grateful for the time of effort you took to share your thoughts and expressions. Now I request the chief guest, Kallan B. Venkat. Kallan B. Venkat Garu is currently holding a position of Director, Faculty Development Cell, AICTE, New Delhi. I welcome you, sir. I request Kanal sir to speak few words.
Hello, Venkat sir. Hello.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Colonel Venkat, ma'am.
Sir, could you please share your views, sir?
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. And as I always keep saying, it's a pleasure to be interacting with your institute when I say about over an Atal program of carrying out an activity related to, imparting knowledge to the various faculty members, especially more so that you people are doing it in a very, very relevant subject that you people continue to keep making people competent and capable on 5G/6G communications. More so, that the latest advancements in technology, especially in machine learning, as to how it has impacted the complete system of functioning. And I personally feel that when an institute of your caliber, Vijnana Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology, does carry out these activities, and it is but obvious that you connect with various faculty members. It is but obvious that you get in touch with a different diverse field of faculty, not only from your institute, but you go beyond your institute and you get in touch with many, many more people. and imparting knowledge on a subject which itself seems to be a breakthrough subject, which is still under discussion and which is still under lots of deliberation, is something which is so very appreciated. And I can very well imagine that you people must have surely contacted the best of the people in this. There must be the best of the resource people who would be coming and be connecting with various faculty members and participants over the next few days of the functioning of this particular program. And quite obviously, when you do that, you're going to bring in the best and you're going to give them the maximum possible information and knowledge out of this. I was listening to you, ma'am, and quite obviously speaking, your institute itself boasts of a massive expertise in itself. So that is what is also appreciated, that in addition to your own individual expertise of your department and the institute, you have taken up this as a task and an agenda to basically go on and make many more people relevant and many more people capable in the system. And why only faculty? It should be also spread, beyond. You can also take on certain research scholars, industry professionals, because unless and until there is a wholesome collaboration of the people who are actually involved, the end result which is supposed to be achieved always is left wanting. But I see that in your folio, you have also mentioned that your participation stretches across to various research scholars, industry professionals, academicians, and anybody who is kind of so keen to get into this subject. So that's congratulations, compliments, a very, very well commenced activity that you people carried out today. And I consider myself at AICT, or AICT considers it's an honor that we got an opportunity to be connected with your institute. And Dr. D.N. Rao, sir, being the president, sir, fabulous, sir, that an activity of this caliber is happening in your institute. Looking forward to many, many more associations and many, many more opportunities coming your way, that you people can continue to do many, many more activities which are deserving merit attention and deserving a kind of an appreciation which brings about a revolution basically in the quality of education. All of you are aware that we are already speaking a year plus down in the implementation of the National Education Policy. The National Education Policy plays a very important role and mentions this particular topic, that is integration of technology. It has been mentioned as a chapter itself. So when there is an emphasis on technology in the times to come, in teaching and learning, in addition to making teachers competent and capable, this step towards making teachers capable and competent is very much aligned to our NEP requirements. And as it is conducting programs, so the ATAL programs is itself hugely appreciable. And I also take this point to congratulate and compliment the complete institute. I wish to compliment each and everybody who has been involved in this particular program. It's my honor that I got associated with your institute, and ma'am, thanks a lot for giving me a chance to be speaking. Wishing you all the best. Please do let us know at AICT if we could be of any help, assistance whatsoever, in case if we can collectively come forward and move for the gradual improvement in the quality of education. It would be a pleasure to be associated with an institute of your caliber. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. So without your support, it's not possible to grow. With the support of all members, we are able to grow, sir, slowly. So still, if you want to go further, I request all the members support. Then only institute as well our department will grow, sir. Thank you, sir, for your words.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. We wish to express our gratitude to our chief guest for being with us on this event. Your presence and gentle words are the source of encouragement for all of us. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request the other chief guest of the event, Mr. Krishna Dhanuri. The Head Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, Technology Business TCS. He has over 32 years experience in the IT industry in leadership roles across relationship management, delivery, and sales in US, Europe, APAC, and LATAM geographics. He has managed large global accounts with a footprint in all major geographics and delivered engagements in software development, technology consulting, large client relationships, and IT business development. In the current role, he is responsible for driving innovation and strategic partnerships with technology industry leaders by triangulating emerging technology opportunities with pressing industry problems to create win-win scenarios. Prior to his role, he was leading sales for retail and CPG vertical based in the US. Prior to that, he has a regional manager for South Sweden based in Europe. I heartily welcome you for the event, sir. I request you to have few words about the event. Thank you.
Krishna sir, your voice is not audible.
My apologies. I was on. Yeah. So thank you very much. First of all, respected Dr. M.H. Kori Garu, Kallal B. Venkat Garu, my colleague Bala Peddagiri Garu, Dr. B. Chennakesava Rao Garu, Dr. Y. Padmasai Garu, Dr. Y. Chalapati Rao Garu, and all the other distinguished dignitaries and faculty participating here today. It is truly an honor and privilege to address this August gathering as you kick off this important faculty development initiative. Now, if you look at technology today, it is disrupting industries at an unprecedented pace, transforming jobs and skills faster than organizations or people can adapt. This revolution has created job requirements that demand familiarity and expertise in emerging digital technologies such as 5G, 6G, AI, IoT, what have you. And as enterprises like ours gear up to adopt new technologies and many of our customers, we depend more than ever on the academic institutions like VNR Vignan Jyoti to nurture and develop talent that has the right mix of domain and technology skills. And most importantly, the ability to apply that knowledge to real life scenarios. And I think that's where collaboration with industry really becomes very important. Now, if you look at TCS, we have been at the forefront of this effort to nurture industry academia collaboration. We have been focusing on harnessing the abundance of talent by fostering ecosystems that kind of synergize more actively with academia and in turn enable a virtuous pool of talent which supports not only our business growth and continuity, but also of our customers. We are also trying to enrich this ecosystem by leveraging some of our customers, and many of them are large global technology leaders. And they bring very, very unique value through access to or providing access to their latest next gen technologies, tools and expertise, right? This ecosystem play is what is really enabling us to stay ahead of the competition and drive business value continuously across all of our stakeholders. And I'm very, very happy to share that as part of this initiative, we have also been actively partnering with VNR VJIT for the past over 6 years with this very unique program called Remote Internship, which has helped to bridge the skill gap by creating industry-ready graduates through a multifold approach. You know, we are doing faculty development and we typically do about 9 to 10 such sessions each year, as well as student development through workshops, project work, and continuous engagement. If you look at it, I think from your institute alone, we are training close to 40 to 50 students each year. And on an aggregate, I think over the past few years, 400 to 450 students have benefited from this entire initiative. So in that context, I think faculty are like the lifeblood of any institution. And it is their sheer passion, hard work, and drive that empowers and prepares students for taking on challenges as they transition into the industry and really prepare themselves for taking on the rigors of the industry. And especially with technology and learning experiences evolving fast and becoming more and more complex each year, it is becoming even more important and imperative to provide faculty the right opportunities to keep abreast with the latest developments in the industry. The faculty development programs, therefore, play a very, very critical role in scaling up this whole talent pipeline that is, if I may say, powering the entire Indian software industry. And I must commend AICTE and VNR VJIT, and especially Dr. Padmasai. I'm always impressed with her energy and enthusiasm, and also Dr. Y. Chalapati Rao for taking the initiative to organize this FDP on emerging wireless technologies and providing, I think, all of you such a wonderful learning platform and opportunity. Now, coming to the theme of the FDP itself, if you look at 5G and AI, they are probably two of the most disruptive technologies the world has seen in recent decades. And while each is individually revolutionizing industries and enabling new experiences, I think it's a combination of 5G and AI or machine learning that is truly going to be transformative. When you apply AI to 5G networks, it will lead to more efficient wireless communications and much more enhanced user experiences. AI is a very powerful tool, and the key to harnessing AI to improve wireless is to focus on important challenges within wireless that can really be difficult to address or solve with traditional methods, and which are also a very good fit for solving using techniques within machine learning and deep learning. So much of the talk in the wireless industry, if you see, has been around how AI will make 5G networks better. And today it is very clear that AI will have a very strong impact on several key areas of 5G network management, be it enhanced service quality, simplified deployment, higher network efficiency, or improved network security. But I'm mostly from the business side of things. So if you look at it from my point of view, I think there is the other side of the coin, which is also extremely important in terms of the value that confluence of technologies like 5G, AI, and IoT are creating for the industry at large. In terms of the many new use cases across industry verticals that converge connectivity, intelligent edge, and IoT, enabling opportunities that, in my view, we thought impossible just a few years ago. Now, when you apply AI to an immense amount of data at scale, it will accelerate the the efficiency and the speed of connectivity. Let's take a few examples. If you take a smart city, for instance, AI could correlate traffic light data automatically and implement new patterns, particularly when the traffic density or the traffic volume goes up. Let's take examples of maybe a new shopping mall coming up, or a new gated community, and especially I think in the Hyderabad context, there are so many of those coming up these days, right? They're constantly changing the traffic patterns. So is there a way for us to identify those patterns and automatically implement ways to address and manage the traffic more efficiently and effectively? If you look at public safety kind of scenarios, smart security and machine vision can keep secure facilities safe with automatic recognition and ability to detect potential breaches in the security or unauthorized access to visitors or intruders trying to gain access to the facilities, right? If you take examples from other industries like manufacturing, factory floors will be totally transformed by the convergence of 5G, AI, and IoT. I mean, today, I think predictive maintenance is already gaining a lot of traction, and it helps control costs and minimize downtime. But in future, I think factories will also use 5G to control and analyze industrial processes and bring an ability to control them with an unprecedented degree of precision. Similarly, if you look at healthcare, 5G use cases will enable doctors and patients to stay more connected than ever before. And these are just a few examples. The possibilities are truly unlimited. So whether the goal is to increase revenue opportunities, reduce total cost of ownership, or transform customer experience, or as we were talking earlier, just look at how you can improve the efficiency and throughput of 5G as a technology itself. I think enterprises across industry verticals are expected to see major benefits by leveraging these technologies in the years to come. I'm very sure that you will delve into some of these and many other areas over the course of this program. And let me therefore, end by wishing all of you a great learning experience over the next few days. And once again, thank Dr. Padmasai for giving me the opportunity to come and address all of you and join the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Krishna sir, actually, TCS is always fully supportive for us. Whatever new initiative they want to start in academic institution, first they will experiment with the VNR VJIT, sir. So recently also for MTech VLSI, they want to start one program. They have started with our students. I really thank TCS entire team. It's like our family. We thought TCS also VNR family. Whatever help we need, when we want to organize any conference also, all the time they used to support us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Richard sir, Rajan sir, always Bala sir, and Krishna sir, many others. So whenever we want to start any program for faculty development program also, they used to support a lot. Thank you, Krishna sir.
Thank you very much, madam.
Chanakeswara silent.
Chanakeswara sir, my voice is not audible.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna Garu, for your support all these years.
Thank you very much. It is our pleasure, and we look forward to continue that partnership and take it to new heights.
Yeah, we are expecting many more, sir, from you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate for your time, sir. And I'm really grateful for your speech and also for your thoughts and experiences you shared with us. Thank you so much, sir. Now let me introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Bala Prasad Peddagiri Garu. Bala Prasad Garu has done his master's in computer applications from Osmania University. He has ranked university first and also an Open Group Master IT Certified Architect, serving as a board member in an Open Group Certifying Authority. He received orchids for his cloud architectural strengths and published various papers in IEEE. Bala Garu is a working group member in Open Group for Cloud and Open Platform 3 working groups. He is serving as a managing committee member for CSI Hyderabad session. He is also chairman for IEEE Computer Society Chapter Hyderabad session. Bala Garu has been working with TCS Limited for over 19 years as a principal consultant and technology head for digital initiatives. And Bala Garu is a thought leader and practitioner in enterprise architecture, enterprise platform solutions. His awards and credentials include Microsoft Azure Certified Architect, Microsoft ALM Challenge Winner 2010, and many more. We welcome you, sir. And now I request our distinguished guest, Dr. Bala Prasad Garu, to enlighten us with his speech.
Thank you. I think you got my introduction 3 years old. Anyway, so currently I'm the chairman for the Computer Society of India Hyderabad chapter and also the treasurer for the IEEE Hyderabad section and working as a chief products officer for the TCS high-tech unit. So respected chief guest, Dr. Colonel B. Venkat and also Mr. Dr. M.H. Corey, Vai Padmasai, C.D. Naidu Garu, T.N. Rao Garu, K.S. Harishchandra Rao Garu, and Krishna Duvari, Chennakeshwara Rao, and also Chilapati Rao. Thanks for inviting me for this wonderful occasion of the faculty development program on the challenges in adaptive machine learning towards 5G, 6G communication. At the outset, I would like to tell you that 5G, 6G has been a clear breakthrough in the kind of a communication channel. It's what we are trying to drive and adapt into. So when you are getting into such kind of a forward-looking technologies, it is obvious that there are many challenges we need to address where we move from the 4G to the 5G network. There are 5G standards which demands much higher data rate, ultra low latency, high reliability and security Likewise, there are many more. And it is important that we adapt to these particular situations and also create the entire ecosystem of the devices which can really support the ultra-fast, low-latency services to the customers. The high speeds and low latency, what we observe, which we expect and promise by the 5G, will really propel the societies into a new age. Of you take the smart cities or any of the IoT networks or industry stakeholders for opening up the several different industry use cases. The three important categories which I wanted to highlight here, which you're eventually going and looking into the entire faculty development program, but when you look into that, try to pay attention for this. Like, how do you manage the enhanced mobile broadband, which is covering both indoor and outdoor broadband enterprise collaboration, and augmented and virtual reality going to create an impact. The second piece about massive machine type communications, which will cover the IoT, asset tracking, smart agriculture, smart cities, energy monitoring, smart home, and remote monitoring areas. They are the powerful use cases which are going to drive such kind of a massive machine type communications. The third area where I would request you to focus is ultra reliable and low latency communications, which importantly drive that autonomous vehicles, where we are trying to look into the driverless cars, the smart grids, remote patient monitoring, and telehealth and industrial automation. This becomes even more challenging under this current pandemic situations where we are really driving through. Now, 5G has been really evolved over the period of time, and the standards really trying to bring in a lot of benefits, which is trying to improve the speed and performance, lower the overall latency, and improve the efficiency. But it also, you need to be aware of the fact that when such kind of technologies are evolving, the most important area where you need to be really looking at, which is much more vulnerable, is the security. And it is important that industry and also the academia need to focus on the 5G security related challenges, which is even more important at this moment. Now, in 2018, the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport of the United Kingdom has released some of the key challenges. The reason I wanted to bring in is we normally look into the technology use cases and how do we adapt to the use cases. But when we are trying to adapt, we also need to look into the important security challenges. The four things which I wanted to talk about is the cross-layer security when you are really looking at, because the paper which they have released, it completely talks about the unified framework which is needed to coordinate different security methods for each of the security layer, and it could be related to the applications and also to the IoT which is participating. The second is about the end-to-end security, where you need to really look into the secure connections and communications between the user and the core network. And distributed nature of this 5G networks are really, really challenging. You need to look at. The third area when you need to look at is how do you manage the cross-domain security, which is most important at this moment. 5G networks, you know that it can create a massive amount of data, and that also try to trigger novel use cases with specific and unique requirements also. Since this is a vertical market will grow over the period of time. When I say vertical, it's all about the industry verticals like healthcare, banking, likewise. So it's important that how do you manage this cross-domain security in a popular manner, in a very, very standard manner. And finally, the fourth element which I want to talk about is the concept of secure by design is important, so that your network changes or anything which is triggering that kind of changes can be anticipated ahead of time, proactively mitigated, and ensure that the design is much, much more robust. But as you are trying to go through this faculty development program, I could see that agenda is covering quite a number of innovative areas of the 5G and 6G as well. And as I move on, I would like to try to say that as part of the faculty development program, you also need to get oriented about the 5G standard bodies, which are really triggering the change and standardizing the communication, satellite technologies, antennas, and other things which are going to be adapted by every person who's trying to use 5G. So try to pay a focus on the third generation partnership project, which is called as 3GPP. And there is also focus on the 5G standard bodies like IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force, and the International Telecommunication Union. These three bodies are really driving the standards to adopt and drive. And it is important that as part of the security, you also need to focus on the interoperability when you're trying to look at. And interoperability, basically, you need to ensure the performance which is guaranteed the overall network speed, and for the different use cases. The reason which I'm trying to talk about is because it has got an enormous uh, realm of applications which are going to drive and bring a lot of intelligence and also drive towards omnipotent collaboration of things. So when you're trying to bring 5G use cases together, you will see it will be very transformatory in nature, evolutionary in nature, and it tries to ensure that revolutionize everything on the ground and try to trigger many more use cases to be adopted for the future. I just want to touch upon the 5G applications which are going to touch will be very, very high with respect to the smart agriculture or the smart education. Because you see today, virtually every education element is getting covered. The smart education is trying to cover as part of the pandemic. You can see from the school to the engineering grads, everyone is virtually trying to learn. And there are many tools which are trying to enable that. And try to offer such kind of an experience requires a huge amount of network and speed, so that it will be much, much more smart and much, much more powerful. As you know that as part of the Digital India initiative, the smart grid and smart cities are getting evolved. You need to focus on the smart transport, smart grid technology, smart parking, and also the environment management control activities. So these are the amalgamation or the convergence of many, many things, which we call it as a, you can talk about the industrial IoT or augmented reality, cloud technologies, artificial intelligence, everything is coming together. The convergence of technologies are really paving a way for the adoption of 5G within India. And you need to be aware of the fact that 5G wireless will usher the major societal transformation by massive expansion of the role of information technology across industrial, commercial, educational, healthcare, agriculture, and also the social sectors. And it will be very pervasive in nature, what we need to really look at. And it also openly brings us a lot of innovations which can be triggered in this particular journey. So it's important that we have a close look at what are the 5G advancements which are happening within India. But as we are trying to look at the 5G, the world is also marching towards the 6G networks. And I'm aware of the fact that I was connected with one of the university called University of Olu. They have really worked very hard on bringing the 6G white paper release, which really entitles and brings out a lot of research-based questions. In the afternoon session, I'm going to touch upon certain areas associated to that work which is going on in the University of Olu for your reference. So most importantly, what I would like to get a view is, give you a view is, it's not only that, but within the government of India also there is a 5G test bed which has been set up within IIT Hyderabad. I believe faculty from IIT Hyderabad will orient you on that area and touch upon that. Getting this particular technologies to the greatly adopted across the industry and making it much more powerful. The most important fact which I wanted to bring in is the platform you got through the faculty development program really tries to keep you ready for the future, and also bringing and addressing the challenges by applying the AI and ML and deep learning techniques in 5G 6G communications can really solve future problems in a much more meaningful manner. I believe you will be able to take advantage of this particular program, enrich your knowledge, and apply the same in your research and also in the applications of the industry. I wish you all the best for the success of the program. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Bala sir. Sorry for wrong biodata. Maybe they have taken from LinkedIn. Actually, in agenda, I know actually you are my mentor. So I am learning many things as I am closely working with IEEE Hyderabad section. So I am learning many things from Bala sir. He is the treasurer of IEEE Hyderabad section. Recently, he has taken charge of chair CSI and chief product officer, high-tech CTO engineer team at TCS. We have presented correctly in program schedule, but my faculty by mistake they have taken from LinkedIn. That is happened. Sorry for that. Definitely whatever points you have mentioned, the importance of 5G standards, security, all those things are important. So definitely all the participants, so please attend afternoon sessions. I will give lot of information so that whatever you are interested already, Dr. M.H. Kori sir also mentioned So we should have breadth knowledge of all other things. Whichever topic you like, you should have in-depth knowledge of that one. So really, all the speakers, all the chief guests, they have enlightened all of us. So I need your support forever. Thank you, Bala sir. So really, I have learned many things from IEEE Hyderabad section under the guidance of Bala sir. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
My sincere apologies for not updating the biodata, sir, and I deeply regret
No
for
problem.
the inconvenience.
No problem.
From the deep from my heart, we thank you, sir, for all your words and wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us, and we thank you for being with us today. Thank you, sir, and I'm really sorry. Now I take opportunity to welcome Dr. B. Channakeshwara Rao Garu, Director Advancement and Team Finance, VNR VJIT. Sir, can we have few words from you?
Good morning to all of you once again. On behalf of VNR VJT, on my own behalf, once again I extend warm welcome to all the dignitaries on the screen and delegates from various institutions and my dear colleagues. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank AICTE for giving opportunity to conduct this faculty development program during this week, that is the 9th to 13th of this month. And I also congratulate the department for organizing this FDP program, because I think today everybody is talking about only the emerging technologies like 6G, IoT also, especially in the domain of electronics and communication engineering. So normally the VNR VJIT, I think we used to give top priority for learning process. I think especially whoever is going to join in this institution, I think the main objective is only to see that all the people should acquire new skills. What are the skills that are required by the industry? So that is the main objective actually at VNR VJIT. And in addition to that, we are also encouraging the faculty to take up research activities in all the domains like AI, machine learning, deep learning, then IoT, cybersecurity, and robotics, automation process. All these are all the upcoming areas, especially you're all aware about all these things. But today, I think the main theme is only that is the challenges in adapting machine learning towards 5G, 6G communications. So as for the 5G is concerned, I think we're all experienced about how we're going to utilize that 5G technology. But I think those days have gone. Actually, I think now we have to concentrate on the 6G technologies. And I think during this pandemic time, I think each one of us, I think, might have experienced about what are the difficulties that we have in 5G technologies. So those things, I think, we're supposed to overcome in 6G technology. I think that is the reason. That's why a lot of achievements, I think, especially in case of mobile communications as well as the wireless communications, networking, all these are all the things that are there. Because I am not a competent person to speak about all these technologies. But anyway, cellular communication technique, I think, which is very, very important technique, which is going to be used for 6G. In that case, I think the main objective of this 6G technology is only how to improve the, that is high speed, data rate that is up to 1 terabyte per second. And then the broad frequency band is 100 gigahertz to 3 terahertz. So these are all some of the challenges that we are going to have in 6G technologies. So in addition to that, I think everybody is talking about, I think recently, I think you might have seen all these things in the newspapers also, how to reduce the cost of especially data transferring. Anyway, I think majority people, they are using cloud so that we can reduce the cost for byte transferring. And the second important thing, how to improve the efficiency, how to improve the effectiveness of communication, and what are the difficulties that we are facing as and today. So these things, I think, we can discuss during this 1 week, because the learning is a continuous process. So I think, as you're all aware about that, so as long as I live, so long I learn. So that is the quoted by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So in this connection, I request each one of you, please try to acquire new skills, how quickly you're going to adapt new technologies. I think definitely you'll going to be one of the top performer in this particular field. So I think especially this AI machine learning, I think these techniques, I think we are going to use in 6G technologies. So definitely I think with these new technologies, definitely we can improve the efficiency of the network. So that is the main objective of, I think, conducting research in this particular area. So I hope, I think you are going to enjoy this 1 week. I request all the faculty, please try to interact with experts. Unless you interact, I think it is very, very difficult to acquire the new skills. So please try to interact and try to learn as much as possible during this 1 week. And finally, at the end of the day, definitely you are going to enrich whatever the knowledge that is required in case of wireless communication technologies. I once again thank Padma Sai Madam and as well as the Chalapati Rao for giving this opportunity to speak a few words on this occasion. I wish you all good luck. Thank you once again, all the delegates and experts. I think we have come forward to attend this particular inaugural function. At the same time, I would like to thank all the experts. I think without their support, it is not possible to conduct 5 days training program for our faculty as well as outside faculty also at VNR BJIT through this FDP programs. I wish you all good luck, all the best. Thank you once again. I would like to thank Durga Prasad Garu. I think he is also there in this inaugural function. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time. I would like to thank Kori Garu and as well as the Bala Prasad Garu, Venkat Garu, and so other Krishna Garu. Thank you once again. I wish you all good luck. All the best.
Thank you, Chanakeswara. Durga Prasad here. And let's thank all the experts who have come forward to share their time with us and enrich the entire proceedings. Because your participation is the one which actually really brings meaning into the entire proceedings. And let me congratulate Dr. Padma Sai and her colleagues for having taken this initiative and done this. Thank you all. Thank you. All the best. All the best for the further proceedings of this program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your words. And we would like to express our deep gratitude for generous support for conducting such FDPs. And now I request Coordinator Dr. Y. Chalapati Rao Garu to give an overview of FDP and also propose a vote of thanks for the event.
Respected President VNR Vijnana Jyoti, Dr. D.N. Rao Garu, General Secretary Harish Chandra Prasad Garu, Joint Secretary Durga Prasad Garu, Principal Dr. C.D. Naidu Garu, Director Dr. Chanakeswara Rao Garu, Dean Students Progression Dr. Padma Sai Madam, and today's Chief Guests Venkat Garu, Duvuri Krishna Garu, Dr. M.H. Kori Garu, and Bal Prasad Garu. And colleagues, dear participants, good morning to all. I, Dr. Y. Chalapati Rao, Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. As a coordinator, I hereby welcome all the participants across the country for this Atal Academy, sponsored 5-day online FDP on challenges in wrapped up in machine learning towards 5G and 6G communications, organized by VNR Vijnana Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, in association with VNR BJIT IEEE Signal Processing Society. This FDP aims to provide strong theoretical background along with practical experience in the field of 5G and 6G communications. The technology development of machine learning for wireless communication has grown explosively and is one of the biggest trends in related academic research and industry communities. Learning is a lifelong activity for every human being, even for researchers and also for teaching faculty. We need to update ourselves with new technologies, tools, trends, and open research challenges. These new technologies makes our work easily and competitions are smart way. Keeping up this in view, we came up with the faculty development program. This faculty development program gives an excellent opportunity to all the participants to get insightful knowledge of new technology in the field of wireless communications. I also take this opportunity. And I would like to convey a few instructions to all the participants. If you have any queries during the session, kindly post in the chat box and it will modify the speaker at the end of the sessions. I request you all, please do not disturb during the session. And the feedback link will be posted at the end of the session. You must fill the Google form for all the sessions. And as per the AICTE guidelines, the assessment test will be conducted at the end of the program, that is on 13th August afternoon only. Now, I would like to present the vote of thanks. We take this golden opportunity to thank all the respected chief guests of this function, Venkat sir, Krishna sir, Dr. Hemech Kori sir, and Bala Prasad sir for accepting our invitation and attending this function in your busy schedule and sharing insights and wisdom with all of us. We will cultivate the advice you all gave us in real life. Thank you, sir. And I extended my gratitude to the respected principal sir, director sir, dean, progression, management members, and organizing committee members for guidance and support. And last but not least, our beloved participants and audience for making this inaugural function as a grand success. Finally, I would like to say one quotation: the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, and willingness to learn is a choice. So don't miss it. I wish you all the best. Thank you one and all once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also I request you all the participants, please join the Atal inaugural ceremony from 11 to 11:30. You have already received YouTube link through email from Atal. So I request you please join that after 30 minutes only.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you all of you.
It's already 11 o'clock, 11:07. You are saying 11 to 11:30 is the inauguration. Just check up your timings, please.
Sir, actually it is 11 to 11:30 national-wide inauguration of all the program. So because of our schedule from 9.
So I think everybody will have to, madam, which means everybody will have to immediately log on to that, not after half an hour, but right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir,
the participants, sir, all the participants.
Now they have to join in that national level.
National level inauguration, sir.
Inaugurations.
This is our college level, but national level they will inaugurate. Simultaneously, they will organize various FDPs, sir.
Right, ma'am. So yes, I think all of you can sign off now and join that immediately.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Where do I join?
So, sir, at 11:30 we can start our session, sir. Exactly at 11:30.
Padma Sai, madam, I think Sir is asking about that link also. You can send it AICTE link, madam.
Sir.
Okay.
I will share, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, yeah, on behalf of the okay, I request all the participants to go on a break and rejoin the session in the same link by 11:30. And in the meanwhile, you can just attend the Atal inaugural. Thank you.